base. If you know your lore, if you know, you know.
Hey, I guess we'll find out here in a Checkmate versus Rat Milkers.
Exactly. We're getting all the answers that you didn't know that you needed in this map. Going over the hero bans real quick. No same hero bans. You cannot ban the same role. First ban is chosen by a coin flip, which Rat Milkers have won. Loser of the map bans the first. So that could. So all right. These two teams getting ready. We're going on to Li Zhang here. I'm getting noticed that we do have bans. We have a Ram ban and a Kiri ban. I don't know who or what team banned what. Let me go look through that. Looks like Checkmate bans the Ram, where Rat Milkers bans the Kiriko. So Checkmate obviously done their homework. They've seen Rat Milkers run on this
They
Ram so
did.
many times. But an interesting pick by Rat Milkers banning that Kiriko. You know, that's been a favorite by Vishay. We've seen her run that Kiriko basically everywhere. I mean, to be honest, not just her, but like throughout this entire lobby, we've seen Kiriko be such a strong and dominant presence, especially with that Lucio. So what do you think they're going to be running here?
Personally, if they're gonna run that brawl, they're gonna pull out that Brigand Juno. But I think the Kiri ban was nice. It'll switch it up a little bit, get rid of Suzu, as we all know is a wonderful ability. But if they are running that brawl with the Orisa potentially, they could run the Brigand Juno.
I like that idea, but you also cannot sleep on Baptiste Lucio right now.
You're right.
Seeing that in the OWCS, seeing that just recently in EWC, that was a pretty strong comp. That got EMEA, which I think is a fraud region. You can put me on the books for saying that, into third place. So, love to see what support lineups we run here, but for the most part, it's Brawl. Anything that has that armor mitigation with that damage reduction bug, because we have a small indie developer running Overwatch, because for some reason that's a bug that we have not getting fixed. So we're probably going to see the Brawl tank, but this DPS line, what do you think we're going to see?
Oof. They were pulling out some of the casts earlier, some of the Freya as well. Freya, I feel like isn't as powerful as she was a few weeks ago, a few months ago, but I think they could pull out that cast, maybe a little bit of Genji as well. And I think I saw them play at least Rat Milkers. They played a little bit of Reaper earlier, which kind of intrigued me. So I'd like to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Rat Milker's watching too many super videos going for that aura farm. However, not quite a fan of the Genji here. The Tracers, however, that's been a powerful pick. We saw the Rat Milkers last
Yes.
match struggle to deal with it, especially when they went onto Control Center. Makumi wasn't able to get the value they wanted on Mei because they were always having to be topped up. So maybe we see a lot of Tracer.
Tracer is pretty vital in this meta, especially after her buff around the season.
Mhm.
Higher damage and lower spread. That's always a killer. But
Yeah, I'll absolutely buffs going the Tracer's way. But talking about buffs, as we're still just waiting for teams to ready up, can I sell you on Lifeweaver stonks?
absolutely, I was just about to say that I would be intrigued with some Lifeweaver gameplay. Lifeweaver, that's a character. It's a really fun character. I agree. I think so.
Listen, I
Good.
am spreading the good word of Lifeweaver and Beaver comps, but that's enough of me selling my good word here. We're heading into Lijiang Tower. Checkmate versus Rat Milk, our final game of the summer showdown for day 2. We excited here?
We're excited. Let's get some hype. We got this.
Absolutely. Lijiang Tower. Both these teams quite familiar with this map. We've seen Rat Milkers. They've had a long day playing 2 games. It's going to be their second in a row. So let's see if it's starting to get to them or they are still locked in. Checkmate looking to secure that first place position here.
Ready for battle.
And we're seeing these team comps come in. It looks like Checkmate running Pickle on the ball. Parasite, Lucio, Trico, Bap, Nadause, and Strider
Lucio.
on Pharah and Tracer respectively. We've seen this team run this, and they had looked clean on it. On the side of Rat Milkers, though, their Railgun, their tank player was hovering the Doomfist, so let's see how these two teams engage.
Very different comps here.
Absolutely. Wispy almost getting booped off, however, gets booped back, so he's going to be alright. Rat Milker's taking a strong position in the center. A lot of pressure coming into Pickle here. Satoru Goju trying to boop him off the edge, along with Railgun, trying not to let this ball get too much value. But it's not the ball you want to sit there and look at. It's this Pharah. This ball sets up the opportunity, but Strider, known to knock it down. Makumi getting peppered by some rockets, going to look for it. However, everyone on Checkmate going super low. Immortality Field forced. Railgun eventually does break that. Rat Milkers are going to start finding some progression onto the point here as Wispy comes alive with the first pick of the match. Strider going down on that Pharah.
Yeah, that Pharah is... I think this is one of Pharah's best maps, so if we can see that played right here, it would be absolutely detrimental to the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we have some split attention. Railgun going down kind of low here. However, Wispy eventually gets Nadause fighting in a different angle. Looks like Rat Milkers are trying to find the kill onto Parasite and Trico. They get out 30% and counting for Rat Milkers. So far, Checkmate has not found the in here. They switched up Pickle going over to the Orisa, so we're going to have a horse-on-horse action here. Talking about which, Wispy with the High Noon walking across the bridge, trying to find any value here, going deep, finding the horse, talking about sending it to the glue factory. That's an in for the Rat Milkers here as Wispy finds another one. He has been electric so far on this cast. And Rat Milkers right now, 60% and counting. You gotta start worrying you for Checkmate here.
Absolutely, these cast ultimates, and be able to get that out quick and rotate them, because it is such a situational ultimate, is very crucial. So
yeah, talking about ultimates though, run me through Rat Milkers right now. They're coming on a big ult thanks as Wispy rips a head off right now, and a window is popped out, forcing Railgun to back up a little bit. However, plenty of cover here. Pickle going down super low. Immortality filled out. Bomb is up, but is no good. Makumi found off by a spear. Here comes a pulse bomb. It is big by Nadause, finding Shay and Wispy. That's a double. That's going to go in the highlight reel for sure. Satoru Gojo going down next, and Railgun's probably going to follow after. It's going to be 99% to Rat Milkers as Checkmate find a first footing here.
Yeah, absolutely. These ultimates, they're... Use that pulse bomb, obviously huge pulse bomb, but we also used a window, so getting that one out from both teams was definitely beneficial.
Absolutely, but we're looking at the horse ults right now. Both of them have Terror Surge. However, Strider does have that High Noon. Parasite, Satoru Gojo holding on to the beat. Let's see if it's as powerful as that Domain. As we're going to see a poke battle going in for White Room. However, Nadause, Makumi, that's a Tracer 1v1. Here comes the Terror Surge, getting a lot of people. Beat comes out. High Noon's coming out also for Checkmate. I don't know where the cast is, trying to find it. Finds Terror Surge in response. I think a little too late. Makumi does get Parasite, however. I think that's all they wrote for Rat Milkers, but what a High Noon. Strider says, Wispy, hold it. I can do one better.
Strider, that was an absolutely incredible play right there. That's how you execute a High Noon. Patient.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the great team play you can have with High Noon. Rat Milkers just forced into that little White Room right there, and it's either take the Terror Surge or take the High Noon, and they took the fast way out there. Here comes a window on bridge. Not going to be too easy to use. A very sharp angle onto that Widow. Maybe a Widow, for heals. We see Rat Milkers, however, rotating into White Room. Makumi is trying to fight Nadause. Nadause does win it in the Tracer resource battle, however. Both teams get the Tracer out. Here comes a High Noon from Wispy. He's been deadly with him. Trying to body block, trying to get the spear out. Here comes a window. It's a window. Wispy, however, finds Pickle. Makumi is taken out by Strider. Talking about which, Satoru Gojo finds Strider here. It is just Parasite, Trico, and Nadause to hold the fort down for Checkmate, 95 to 99%, as Trico goes down first. That's a lot of healing down for Checkmate. Rat Milkers have to clear this point fast before the respawners come in. Shay under a lot of pressure, however, Satoru gets Nadause. Here comes the Terra Surge by Pickle, finding a lot of value here. Strider gets it, however, Satoru pops the beat. Makumi is down. Wispy gets Strider here. It's a Lucio versus it. However, Railgun shoves Pickle off the edge, and Rat Milkers take the first point.
Wow.
Score 0.
Yeah, that was something. That was almost a mirror. That was a mirror match at the very end there. They were both coming out on very different comps, but at the end it ended up being a pretty nasty matchup. The cast and the cast 1v1 was absolutely incredible. But can we talk about the Lucio Bab mirror? There were windows left and right. It was incredible.
We can talk about it. However, we got to talk about this new switch up here. We have on the side of Checkmate, Parasite going over to the Brigitte, and Ana on the side of Trico. It looks like Parasite actually switching over to the Lucio, maybe for the speed boost out? No, they're going to set on it. So watch that Ana look for these big anti-nades, especially Trico. Trico is huge on the anti-nades in a few other maps here. However, Wispy getting pinned with a spear. Parasite finding Shay, throwing her off the map. Rat Milkers are down one of the major support pieces here, and it looks like it's just falling apart as Satoru and Wispy go down. Trico, Nadause, Pickle, Strider, everyone on Checkmate had a hand in their downfall, as Checkmate are going to start making their way into point progress.
Absolutely. The only difference here in this composition is that they brought out the Freya this time. Oh, it looks like they also swapped to Ana. But building those bolas as quick as Freya can is going to be crucial for their success.
Yeah, absolutely. The Sleeshing Tower has plenty of chokes, and you do have to walk through one of them, so... Talking about which, Strider was found out for just a second, playing on Death's doorway there, was at half health. We see Railgun going with the shield perk on Orisa. Shay, however, has to force the immortality field. However, Makumi finds Strider. That's a big pick. That is a lot of chip damage thrown away. Talking about it, Wispy eating a spear, and that's all she wrote for Wispy. However, Pickle going down as Railgun finds the thing. Beautiful anti-nade on to stop a Railgun. That's going to put a lot of pressure. However, talking about pressure, Satoru Gojo getting chased to the ends of the earth. Rat Milker's going to find a flip here. Railgun finds Parasite. Rat Milkers get that point flip. It is 46 to 10 right now as Wispy finally shuts down the menace that is Nadause. And talk to me about this alt fight right now. Favor a Checkmate.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming in on third fight here, and it looks like Rat Milkers can set up for another Ori into Castle. It could be a nasty combo. But we could also do a Bola and a Ori ult on the other team as well.
Yeah, right now, Checkmate having the alts, especially the defensive alts. Here comes a Pulse Bomb. However, Shay has the Immortality Field for it this time. Here comes the Terror Surge, getting all four. Pickle getting two. Railgun not getting any more value on top of it. Trico eventually does find V. Shay, and Checkmate, with those alts, take the point back. Now counting up to 50%.
Both teams did use the Orisa ult there, the Terra Surge, but it looks like Rat Milkers did use their Castle ult as well, and they still have Bola, so this is going to need to be a huge Bola to take away with this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Both Lucios do have that Pulse Bomb. We're going to see this Tracer 1v1, Nadause versus Makumi. It's been going either way. Here comes the Bolo shot. However, Shay goes down first. Pickle finding it out. Bolo killing the Immortality Field. That's going to force Rat Milkers to back up, regroup, wait for that Baptiste to come back in.
Absolutely, both teams holding on to beat here, using it for a dire situation, but really they don't need to right now. Maybe you could see an aggressive beat in these situations, but...
Shay goes down first again. That is a tragic pick. However, Wispy does find Strider, and Satoru Gojo does have the later beat here. However, they know their target. Wispy is going to get thrown in a corner as the rest of Rat Milkers are fighting for a point here. Makumi does get Parasite, so that is a trade. a stick onto the opposing Tracer. That is ambitious here. However, Nadius gets traded out. Strider finds Makumi. Nadius finds Shay. And so it is just Railgun left on the point. He's going to get thrown down, and it looks like Checkmate is going to take this point. It is 1-1 is Li Jiang Tower.
Yes, sir. Yeah, 1-1. That was another intense fight. Another mirror match, except for the Freya, but they did utilize that Terra Surge in their DPS combos. So
Yeah, another thing you got to look out for right now if you're Rat Milkers is we've been seeing Shay getting picked off every fight first on that Li Jiang night market here. Let's see if Control Center is going to add anything better for her, but looking kind of rough right now.
absolutely. Oh, they're pulling out the Mei here. And the Sid.
Yeah.
I think both of these beam characters are going to be pretty fun to watch.
Absolutely not use pulling out the Sim. Gonna help with the horse. Makumi feeling a bit more comfortable on the Mei. Rat Milker's, of course, gonna be second to this point here. Little server room here. However, a beautiful wall cuts off Pickle, allowing Rat Milkers to get the positioning they want. We have a side battle here going on. However, Wispy, Trico, they're hunting down Parasite. I think they're not going to find it. However, Railgun does take out Pickle. Makumi getting Strider. Nadaus does find Shay, so she does technically fall first again.
Yeah, absolutely. And Railgun over here has the shield perk, so the beam character isn't
hold on,
even
hold
going
on.
to really...
What is Parasite doing?
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
We're going to go for some Frogger spawn camps, I see, but Rat Milker's shutting that down before any damage can really get done here. You're not going to see too many rotations as they're still waiting for the Lucio to come back, but it is a Lucio, so you can hit that fast. Here comes the TP, though. Pickle thrown out, Nadaus also taking a lot of damage. The TP is down, and Pickle took a lot of damage on that rotation here. Nadaus is a bit in this corner here on the side. Strider does find Wispy a beautiful pick off on the damage dealers. Shay is getting pressured down by Nadaus, not caring too much about how deep they are. Makumi does find Strider, however, and it looks like Rat Milkers are right now in control. We see a swap on to the Zarya by Pickle to try to answer this question of the Orisa.
Alright. Yeah, they're all coming up on their ults here. Railgun is going to be able to combo with Crispy, and it's going to be nasty again.
Yeah, the only ults we see, I was about to say, was Trico and Strider here, but Trico gets taken out. Probably a beautiful 1-2 combo with the Spear Icicle here. Pickle is right now super full charge right now with Zarya. That's a huge beam, however, they're going to put the pressure down. That's no bubbles. They're counting that. Pickle gets caught out. Parasite gets caught out in a blizzard. Beautiful by Makumi. We're seeing a lot more value. Satoru Gojo finds Strider. Wispy is dueling Nadaus on point. It is 86% for Rat Milkers, and they're going to try to hold them at the door here, and they have all the ults to do it.
The quick swap the ball to hopefully touch.
Yeah, quick swap, and Wispy is walking into their spawn. High noon finds Nadaus, so it is just Pickle to really get this touch. Trico, of course, does find Wispy as he sticks around too long. So, question is, how fast can you kill these balls? Who are you gonna kill? They're gonna throw the beat out, trying to finish this up. However, the Lucio on the side of Checkmate also throws the beat down. Here comes the high noon. However, it's in front of a window. That's tragic. Trico almost burning down Railgun, and so every team is fully back here. Strider finds a beautiful high noon onto Satoru here. Right now, Checkmate looks sort of in control of this. Wispy getting surrounded. Trico finding it. Railgun finding Strider. However, Makumi trades Trico and Strider out here. Nadaus finds Shay. Pulse Bomb coming out. Almost kills Makumi. Railgun at 1. Pickle finds Railgun. Makumi going down. Rat Milkers Lucio Satoru is going to throw himself onto the point. He's probably going to fall first here. And he does. Checkmate getting some progress now.
What a clutch up from Checkmate. It did cost them just about all of their ultimates, but we're coming up on ball ultimates here. And hopefully they'll be able to disrupt something with that.
Yeah, right now, this ball, especially these tight quarters, can really shut an area down. However, no one is looking at Nadaus right now, and they're free in this backline. They have all the access they want. They see Satoru. They're going to try to pressure out. However, Sato turns around real quick. Nadiu's going to have to take this health pack. Sato's still getting pressured down. However, the rest of the team is now on point here. Makumi has the Blizzard in pocket. Really nothing to use here. Shay does go down first, however, followed by Wispy. It'd be a wonder if you see this Blizzard. Here it comes. The Blizzard is out. Pickle gets caught in it. Parasite out of the LOS. Satoru throws himself onto it, dies. However, Rat Milkers do get the point flip, so Checkmate's not going to get too much progress here as they're going to have to flip the point back, but Checkmate still looking pretty comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. That ball was he did use that ult. He did disrupt those points, and he did get an elimination in progress from it. So that was exactly what he needed there.
I'm really feeling the heat.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna see the same situation we saw. Rat Milkers, 4 ults, but Checkmate coming up on about 4 ults themselves. However, they're gonna be a little late to the party here. We see the Pulse Bomb going wide does kill the Immortality Field. That's a lot of use. Window is also out on the side of Checkmate. Rat Milkers going down a bit low here. Shay getting pressured down super heavily. Here comes the window. Beat is coming out for both teams. Terra Surge, however, is good. Finds 3. Wispy pops the high noon. Looking for 1. Finds Strider with it. Sato finds Trico. That's a lot of healing. Rat Milkers up 2, up 4. That's all of Checkmate down. Let's see how they hold this if anybody does get the touch, or Rat Milkers, never mind, they're going to take Lijiang Tower.
Wispy being able to take that other take the cast with the ultimate was absolutely terrible for Checkmate, because that was their ult that they needed, and Wispy took it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Wispy, I'd have to both the cast really, Strider and Wispy, just showing how strong this cast is. Both the high noon, with you're seeing it here, just the raw potential to chunk through health and to get those eliminations where they really matter.
That's right.
All right, now we are just waiting for the teams to figure out their lineups, figure out their band comps. But I gotta throw it to you, Shottle. If you're Checkmate, you played that super close. Your team, Rat Milkers and Checkmate, neck and neck. This looks so much closer. Where do you take the Rats next?
Let's see. That's if they choose to pick the map, right? But if they choose to pick the map, I would take them maybe like a hybrid map, you know, to get that maybe some scrims row. Maybe some scrims row, because they could take that and they could run with that. So
I like that, but and I'm pretty sure Checkmate was watching. If you're watching the stream, basically free information on your teammates, especially since you do not have to play at all this thing, which I don't know how I got through. You saw Rat Milkers struggle on Eichenwall.
yeah.
You have a ball player. I think taking to them to Eichenwall probably would be the best thing for Checkmate right now.
Yeah.
But it's just comfort sometimes.
Absolutely. That icon wall, that second point is brutal. If you do not know how to dive it, if you don't know how to attack it, you're gonna have a hard time. And I think if Checkmate knows that, they can take advantage of that and then potentially hold them pretty strong.
Absolutely. Right now, both teams really thinking about what they want to do. Again, right now, Checkmate, higher seed. Rat Milkers, I think, are second or third with a 2-1. So this can really shake up the bracket here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm getting reports from Checkmate. They're going to Hollywood here.
It's another hybrid map.
Indeed, it is another hybrid map, and we do see Motion coming in for the Rat Milkers. And, you know, Motion cooked on the Ramatra. He cooked on the horse. But this is an entirely different map. You want to just give me the rundown?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the same thing. You know, Motion is their obviously big brawl guy, so being able to go brawl in Hollywood is not something I would see typically, but I usually see dive, and I would like to see some dive, but we can let Rat Milkers take it and run with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to sit there and just scratch your head. You know why Checkmate did this. This is a perfect map for a ball. So many
Yeah.
enter points to egress. Right now, we're getting confirmation that Rat Milkers will be attacking first. We see a
Okay.
Brig ban on the side of Rat Milkers, which I'm not too convinced on that one. If you're running the ball, and we probably know Checkmate's going to run the ball, you're not going to really run the Brig here unless you're really could. I know motion.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
convinced he dives.
Okay. Yeah.
So, not convinced on that ban. But let's see what they're cooking.
Let's see. I'm excited to see who else we decide to ban here.
Yeah, so if you're playing this and you want to go dive, you're gonna obviously go back to that Lucio Kiriko. Kiriko obviously, can't be banned through the rest of the series. But this is
Right.
Rat Milker's point, so well, what type of compositions? We know Checkmate's composition. What do you think they're
Yeah.
gonna be running for Rat Milkers?
For Rat Milkers,
Should
maybe we see some Diva. I think it's possible we see some Diva, and then possibly that Lucio Kiri as well with that. But as far as DPS go as well,
now
let's see.
I know you
Maybe
watched
maybe
Hollywood.
Tracer.
I could see the Tracer. Nadause and Makumi were going back and forth on this, but I'm gonna sell the Widow Merchant here. We saw Strider dominant here,
Yeah, we did.
but we've also seen Wispy in the All-Star game get to, I think it was the finals on Widowmaker. So, do you think we're gonna be seeing a Widow 1v1 or Widow duel?
Ooh, I think that would be awesome. I think that would be pretty cool to watch. Seeing Strider and Wispy duel it out, just hitting the nasty shots. Maybe we can get some grapple shots in. Maybe we can get some nasty flicks or whatever we might have to do. But the Widow duel, I'm hoping for it.
A Widow duel would be electric. It has been a while since we've seen, some great Widow play. Strider yesterday gave us a little appetizer, but hopefully this Hollywood, this is where we actually get our main course.
I agree. Maybe even if not the Widow, maybe some Ash. I think some Ash would be good here too. But as far as hit scan goes, we kind of just have to wait and see. It's kind of a versatile role.
Know what hit scan we won't be seeing though? I'm getting news that we will not be seeing Cass as a ban from Checkmate is going to take him out.
Okay.
So
There you
I'm
have
thinking
it.
snipers here. I'm thinking those Ash. I'm thinking the Widows.
All right. Maybe even Freya.
Maybe even Freya. So we're just waiting for teams to get their finalized lineups coming in, and then we'll be heading straight into Hollywood. So how you been enjoying these late matches? Have you been watching a lot of them?
I have been, alongside playing a few matches myself, just ranked and whatnot. But I have been watching these matches. Just they've definitely have been some close ones, and that's intriguing. So, and I mean, we definitely will see some more close ones. So that's what I
Yeah,
like. I like a slow burn.
absolutely. It's much better than what the podcast was saying, where I was hearing a lot of 2-0s by the podcast crew. So I'm happy. We're getting 2-1s here. We're getting 99s to 100s. But
Initiating
Yeah.
match.
let's see how these two teams do face up to each other as they go into Hollywood here. Waiting on teams to start picking their comps. You ever been to Hollywood?
I have one time. It's a long time ago though. Being from the east and all.
Ah,
What about you?
from
You been to
not
Hollywood?
from the best coast. I get it.
Battle.
as we see the teams start picking the comps, we can debate the coast things ever. We see on Checkmate, Strider Ashe, not to use Tracer, Pickle on the Has, Parasite Trico, Lucio Kiriko. On the side of Rat Milkers, we see, you were saying Diva, Motion is hovering that Diva.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, though, looking at the support line, Barbecue Chicken on the Mercy, Vishay on the Kiriko. I'm not going to put too much stonk onto the Mercy. Makumi, of course, Tracer. So we will be seeing that Tracer 1v1. Not a use versus Makumi. That has been electric so far. Wispy on to the Freya here. But we do see Motion actually switching over to the Winston. We're running out. The Rat Milkers are running out onto a Moira. You gotta question why, though.
Yeah, we do see them running out on the Moira. A little bit difficult for them to get the monkey and whatnot, but we also see them on the Freya. The Freya's gonna be able to poke out a good bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about poke out, we see Pickle taking a lot of damage. Talking about a lot of damage. Barbecue Chicken going down early to Motion. Makumi here also getting traded out. And Rat Milkers are going to have to take a regroup here on their first attack.
Yeah, that Ashe is just absolutely... She destroys. Ashe destroys, and that is the baseline of Ashe, so hopefully we can continue to see that.
Yeah, absolutely, especially hitting that dynamite onto the two players that it did. Without that Moira, you're not going to heal through that. Kiriko's a single heal target, talking about which Wispy shuts the Ashe down immediately. Motion in a dangerous position, walled off, put into a corner, and shot. Wispy looking like the same issue as Nadaeus gets that trade. Here comes Vishay next, following him into spawn. Makumi's the last one to join him here if they can get out. Looks like Motion gonna switch on to that Hazard, probably not feeling the Winston is working out here.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, Winston's in a pretty rough spot, but I do see Pickle making some elite wall placement, so hopefully we can see that from both sides, Motion and Pickle.
Yeah, absolutely. Rat Milkers are now trying to set up onto this high ground. Ashe throws the dynamite, but only hits the wall, now glowing orange, has RGBs in it. Lovely to see it. Talking about which Nadaeus finds Makumi, getting the better of that trade quite handily. Here comes a Kitsune Rush. That's kind of a short one going in. That's going to be an easy kite away for Rat Milkers. They were already on the back foot, so kiting this would probably be the beneficial. Talking about this elite wall. Here comes Motion getting it again. Pulse Bomb going out and Bolo going out. Wispy finding Trico to open this thing up. Shay finding Parasite, so there are no supports on the side of Checkmate. However, Nadaeus does get Wispy. Backbone does find Nadaeus, and Shay finds Strider as Rat Milkers are going to start opening Hollywood up.
Yeah, absolutely. Checkmate was able to use several ults there, but unfortunately for them, they are going to be a little bit rough on the ult economy now.
Talking about which we see Motion setting up. He does not want this high ground to go uncontested. He has the ults. They have the resources to take this high ground, and honestly, not allowing Ashe to set up is probably the best thing. However, Nadaeus does find Barbecue Chicken quite early in this fight. That's your Moira gone, so you're just going to be relying on Vishay on the Kiriko here. But if you're a Checkmate fan, you're going to take that.
You will be renewed.
As we start
Second. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Second 4 ults here on Rat Milkers, and absolutely nasty rain.
Nasty Rain even gets out the beat, so you take that. You love to see that. Pickle going down super low. However, the 6-man is on the point here. Bob is on the job. He is doing something. Talking about doing something. Strider finds Shay. Makumi is sliced open by Pickle. Right now, Rat Milker's kind of discombobulated here. Wispy does find one on the way out. However, I think Motion's going to be the next one to go, as a lot of pressure is going down, and they're super low. Rat Milker's forced to regroup here.
Discombobulated, because he's Bob. Anyway, they're coming up on... No, they do have 3 ults here. Rat Milkers does. Checkmate also doing well in their ult economy. Coming up on 3-ish. So hopefully we can see maybe a nasty pulse from Nadaeus here.
Yeah, Nadaeus has been electric on these pulse bombs, finding the right targets, especially finding Barbecue Chicken. Forcing that Wraith Walk out is huge. And it looks like throws one at Wispy, however, doesn't find it. But because that Wraithwalk was forced out, Trico finds Barbecue Chicken. They're down again first, and that forces Rat Milkers to back up again. This is looking kind of disastrous. Wispy throws a bolo shot to try to prevent this from going through. However, Nadaus is finding two. Pickle, Parasite cleaning up the rest. Right now, Rat Milkers kind of looking discombobulated here.
Absolutely. Nadu started that fight with the pulse bomb, and eventually it kind of led into a little bit of the Kiri rush, and they were able to take everyone out and clean up that fight pretty well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're Rat Milkers, I gotta start questioning this Moira pick. It has not been working out for you. You're the first one to get picked off again. So, we're gonna see.
I really just think waiting on ult here.
Yeah, waiting on ult, and plus, Barbecue Chicken's been holding on to this Coalescence for what seems to be the lifespan of Overwatch 1. As we're talking about that, Wispy finds the lifespan of Strider, and Parasite also going down. Makumi coming alive, finding Parasite. As the fight's digressing, Nadaus recall is forced. However, Rat Milkers are trying to make progress here. Trico goes in for a bomb of a Suzu. However, because of a corny-ass perk, they can teleport once more after doing it. Talking about which, Barbecue Chicken getting alive in here, finds a disc. I don't even know what those are called anymore. Finds a damage orb over here. Skill. I'm just gonna call it a skill orb. Pickle, however, forces that Wraith Walk. Here comes a pulse bomb by Makumi. Goes wide. Nadius fighting the betterment of the trade. Pickle going down super low. However, Motion finding Trico. Strider does find Wispy at the end of the day, and Pickle coming after Barbecue Chicken. Let's see who's can last longer here. Motion does get Pickle, however, the rest of the Rat Milkers fall shortly after. 10 seconds left on the clock. Let's see who gets the touch here for the Rat Milkers. Makumi's going to be the one stepping up here, trying to find any overtime ticks. He's out of blinks. Has to hold down the fort. Recall forced. Overtime is up. Who's going to be next? Wispy is here. B is coming out. Rain is up. Beautiful. Doesn't capture anything. Trico is caught, however, by Motion's Rain. Pickle does find Shay. Wispy going down. Barbecue Chicken following quite soon after. Motion going down, and that's all she wrote for Rat Milkers push. A pretty good push, if I do have to say so. Struggled in the second half. So it's very doable by Checkmate.
Yeah, absolutely. I did see Strider bring out the Soj pick a little bit later into the second part. I would like to continue to see that because I think it would be really beneficial against the Hazard.
Match.
Yeah, absolutely very beneficial here. I know I've been harping on it for basically in the entire match. Why do you think they're running the Moira?
That's a good question. Did we even get Cole out that last map? Last round?
We did pop. I think Rat Milkers did pop Coalescence, but you don't get too much value of it.
Yeah.
And especially into this comp, only the Brig is banned. Surely we have better compositions here. Surely you have the Lucio, you have the Juno if you don't feel comfortable on Lucio. Even the Ana, we see them now switching over to their support lines. Vishay onto the Brig, Ana onto Barbecue Chicken onto Ana. But sticking onto that Moira, I feel is kind of a bit of a throw.
Yeah, I think they definitely could have used a little bit of a nudge to switch, and unfortunately, I guess we just didn't see that. But I do think the Ana and the BAP are going to do them pretty well, especially right here with the anti-nade.
Talking about switching up, Strider going over to that Sojourn, like you said, you got plenty of options to shoot at to build that railgun. So let's see how these two teams engage onto each other. Checkmate looking to stay alive in this series. Rat Milkers looking to shut the window on them right now. Motion right now putting check on the hit scan player. They've been quite deadly. However, Checkmate has the opening onto the backline. Does get a beautiful slash on it. Nadaus finds Makumi right now. Nadaus finding Wispy. Nadaus coming alive in this match right now. Ooh, that's a rough attack. Yeah, Nadaus Pickle right now. Quite on fire. Makumi kind of quiet on this Tracer duel.
Yeah, they're coming out of this with 5.5 minutes. So they're gonna have time to get it to this next point.
They're going to have time, and they have the position to. You look at what they are stationed. Checkmate does have the high ground. That means Rat Milkers have to take it back. And that's extremely difficult, especially it's just these elevators going to, and you don't. As you see this fight progressing, Wispy gets his head taken off. Motion does find Strider in return. Immortality Force Shade going down super low. Pickle eventually finds it. Motion does find Parasite, though. And so it is a 2v1. They're going to try to take out the Kiriko on the side. They're going to try to take out Trico. Both are egressing. However, Trico is still just alive. As we're talking about this point is making tremendous progress. And if you're Rat Milkers, you have 5 minutes to hold this, and it's not looking too good. However, Wispy does find Nautilus. Pickle going down super low, trying to find anything. However, Rat Milkers still have not taken high ground.
Checkmate is absolutely able to push so much card progress because the Pickle and Nautilus were able to train them for so long, distract them.
Yeah, absolutely, and that got a lot of view. Here comes the rain. Shay is caught here. The Immortality Field forced. Gonna try to isolate, trying to kill him. Nautilus finds Makumi, Trico, Barbecue Chicken, and Shay down by Pickle, talking about which Pickle finds Wispy too. Strider takes off the head. Checkmate right now is sailing pretty. 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and it's almost to the golden box of victory.
Game.
I don't think Rat Milkers are gonna touch. They do not get to touch.
Wow.
Checkmate looking dominant on this map, but you know, you kind of figured they would. This is gonna be their map pick. Now I gotta ask you, if your Rat Milkers had a tragic game on Escort both times, what map would you go to try to rebalance this?
Rebalance this. I'm taking it to a Flashpoint.
Absolutely, Flashpoint.
Now which Flashpoint?
Oh,
That's
hold
the
on.
question.
RM is choosing to ban first. So let's see what they're going to be banning. You know, I constantly say hero ban's a throw pick. You know, I would rather choose that map. But going on to Flashpoint, we've only really seen one Flashpoint during this tournament, and that's Saravasa. Right. So,
and having both of those Flashpoints just get reworked too within the last few weeks is pretty nice. I think it'll be pretty good. A good refresh for both the teams. Seeing how this plays in tournament play.
So the teams right now mixing their roster, they're talking amongst themselves. We are heading to match point, game point for both these two teams. Checkmate 2-0, Rat Milkers 2-1. Sorry, taking a drink of water. My voice is getting kind of hoarse. Talking about horse, we have seen a lot of it. Do you think we're going to be seeing another one?
Yeah, if we're going into Flashpoint, and Rom it can't be banned again. We're probably gonna see some horse. But I think down to the map. I think just to get some variety, New Junk City would be a pretty good option. But I don't think that's gonna be the choice actually.
Yeah, we're playing the new map. How do you say this map's name? Atlas.
Atlas. Yes.
Okay. I think this map is garbage. But
oh, I think it's great.
Oh no, this is the worst map I think they've ever made. Besides, of course, Clash, but Clash is just a disaster. So we're still waiting on Rat Milkers to get a ban up, because that's one they chose. Going to okay. I'm obviously going to be impartial here and say this map is garbage. What do you think the comp that they play in here? We're going to see a ball ban from Rat Milkers.
Okay, all right. The ball ban, that changes things up a little bit. So we're probably going to do a little bit of brawl here. This is a pretty brawl-heavy map, or like a rough rush map. But as far as tank goes, we probably will be seeing that Ori. Definitely that Ori. Maybe some BAP to follow up with that, and Maybe probably some Sojin or Cass and or. So
All right. So we're waiting for Czech to get their ban pick. If you think so, they banned Ball. We know Pickle loves his ball. That's what he's known for.
Yep.
But we've seen them go toe to toe on that Ramatra.
we did see that. Motion, as I've seen today, has been a pretty good Ramatra. So seeing that Pickle versus motion Ramatra duel, that could be one for the books.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we see not motion, barbecue chicken coming in out for Satoru. Now, Satoru, we've seen him only play the Lucio, so I'm guessing we're going to be seeing the Lucio again. Which, after the performance of barbecue chicken, I hate to say it, Moira on that attack on Hollywood was a very big question mark.
Yeah.
Railgun looked,
it happens.
Yeah, Railgun jumping the gun of their captain. Gonna come in, so motion is coming out. Still waiting on Checkmate to say anything. Let me check the match chat to see who they're banning. Still nothing, so waiting on Checkmate's ban here. See,
Yeah, making a few player swaps here as well. So
absolutely
some different comps.
Okay, they banned May here. So we have a May Ball ban. I don't think the May is a big deal here. If I was Checkmate, I'm not convinced on Makumi's May. It's done all right,
Yeah.
But
May's pretty good if we can get those walls down, if we can get maybe even the perk to the freeze perk, but May has potential. That's all I'll say.
So we're not going to see any swaps by Checkmate here. Both teams say there are. So we're going to start heading into Atlas here very soon. Remember, game point here. Whoever wins this map wins the final game of today.
Anything goes.
Anything goes as we head to Morocco. We're going to see Atlas. I will give this map, it's very pretty. Is it a good league? It's a good map? No.
Yes. Oh.
I've seen fights happen in the most random corner of this map, and the point be on the other side of the thing. I just think this is a disaster. I'm happy to have a small, tiny room. If we want to play tiny Overwatch, we can. But these are just some random streets some of the times we fight in. But that's enough yapping for me. We see the team compositions coming in. Rat Milker's going to be running a really fast rush comp here. Makumi on the Genji. Wispy on that Cass. We know he's been electric. Railgun going over to the Queen. We've seen this once before and it didn't work into their favor. Satoru Gojo and Shay on the respective roles of Lucio Kiriko. On the side of Checkmate, we do have Parasite Trico running also Lucio Kiriko, but Pickle is on the Hazard. Nadius, Sim, and Strider. Nope, lied. Nadius on the Tracer. Been electric so far, and Strider on to the Sojourn. So let's see how these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have that Cass and that Soj.
Absolutely. Wall right now is down for Pickle here. I'm gonna see who comes. Nadius is in the back of the back line here for Rat Milkers. They've been a nuisance. Pickle going down super low, however. Not gonna find this kill, however. If you're Rat Milkers, you really gotta be checking Nadius. They have been electric, but why check when you can just punch to the front line? Pickle going down first as the point is unlocked. No one's gonna go on to it. Makumi is gonna start stepping up to it. However, Nadius is still very much alive. Wispy puts one in between the eyes of Nadius. That must feel good.
Pickle was just not able to find that time to build that armor back up. We're gonna see him on a Queen now as well.
Absolutely, we're gonna see basically a Queen mirror. It's just comfort picks at this point. Makumi going down super low. Find out by Nadause right now. Nadause being electric on that. We're seeing both two teams collapse in on each other. Wispy going down. So right now, Rat Milkers are without the DPS. Satoru Gojo is going to hold onto this point for as long as possible as Railgun is going to jump down, get the last minute contest. Just going to die on point. 58% for Rat Milkers as Checkmate going to start building up this point progress.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming into about third or fourth fight here, and we are building up every single ult. We're almost at 4 for each team. So just using that ult in that ult economy is going to be crucial for these next 2 fights.
Yeah, this next fight, especially with this Queen Rampage, is which Kiriko blinks first on that Suzu. That's the big question, and Shay blinks first. But however, Pickle doesn't have it. Beautiful Rampage does get Nadause, does get Pickle. A lot of pressure going down. This Kitsune Rush was thrown in. They're still fighting inside of it as it dissipates. Looks like Shay is on the point. However, TP's out. Pickle does find Satoru Gojo, so Pickle is still very much in this. Checkmate, it could go either way. Shay eventually gets Pickle. Here comes a beat. Wispy's going to throw the high noon out. Trico finds Shay. Wispy not getting anything from that. Checkmate is just collapsing in them. They found that beat. They wanted to go again. Talking about which, Shatro also throws his beat in. 95% on the board for Checkmate. We're going to go into overtime. Rat Milkers looking to clear this up. And they do. Let's go with 99%. Rat Milkers right now, 60% and counting. We have ults, but we have totally different ults. You want to break that down for me, Shuttle?
Yeah, being able to draw that fight out as long as they did with only using 2 ultimates is absolutely huge. They're going to be able to use Rush and Genji ultimate here just to stall out the Queen and the Soj ult.
Yeah, this Queen, but this Queen ult is what you're going to be looking at here. Pickle going down super low. Finds, however, Shay, beautiful clear. Talking about which, Makumi whips the blade out. We do see a swap flip, point flip from Checkmate. However, Rat Milkers looking like they're cleaning it up quite nicely. Makumi finds Parasite. Wispy finds Trico. Rat Milkers up 1. So we're going to head to second point.
Yeah, that's the first map, and the Rampage was beautiful, but unfortunately it got hit with a Suzu, an even more beautiful Suzu.
Absolutely, that's their whole matchup right now. It's the Kirikos who are going to have to put their team on their back. Talking about which, it is time for Railgun to step up as they have the Rampage next. However, Rat Milkers right now taking a lot of damage. Makumi, however, D Strider, who has the OC, the Reckoning is good, finds Nadause. Pickle gonna go down next as well. So far, Makumi is coming alive. I'm pretty sure that's a 4th one. I say that as they're heading back to spawn as Trico finds the pick. Rat Milkers are gonna get the first capture of this second point.
Yeah, it is the battle of these Suzus here whenever that Queen ult is in play. And oh, it looks like we do have a swap from Pickle coming onto Risa. Wow.
Yeah, you want to talk about insta-deleted. I didn't think Shay was expecting the JFK experience like that. However, Wispy does find Parasite. Wispy finds another one here. Trico finally puts the menace down. However, Pickle is deep in the enemy territory. He's trying to be a resistance fighter, but eventually gets put down. We do see Checkmate capturing it. Railgun finds Nadause, and Makumi takes the head off of Trico as we've seen the point flip back. 15% for Checkmate as Rat Milkers are heading into 50.
Yeah, they just keep going back and forth on this point right here. But we do have the Rush in play. Oh, a little bit of a...
Yeah, a very early OC. They have to go deep for this Strider in a worrisome situation, if I'm going to be. Here comes a Kitsune Rush going the opposite direction from the fight. Wispy is actually perched up here like a Widowmaker, trying to find the value. He finds Nadause. Railgun does go down, however. Beat is out for both teams. I'm just kind of questioning on why they used both of them. However, Wispy gets the Suzu. Checkmate does find the flip onto the point. Satoru goes to find Satoru. However, Trico finds a Wispy. It looks like Shay's going to go down next as they teleport out. Here comes the Kitsune Rush. That is getting out just in time. Satoru goes trying to hunt it down. However, Parasite gets the better of it. Pickle throws the Terror Surge out, tries to find Makumi. It is just Railgun left. And they're bleeding out slowly. Checkmate at 56%. Rat Milker sitting at 85. We might be at final fight territory for this point.
Could be. I think they were able to stall that out long enough just to get enough points where this could be last fight. And they're gonna make that sim switch as well. Hopefully
Yeah, the sim switch makes a lot of sense, especially when running into this Genji. You didn't find too much value onto that hit scan here, but talking about that Genji, we gotta look at it. Railgun can easily build this up. Makumi throws the blade out. That's a beautiful Suzu. Gets it. However, Strider goes down. Makumi does find the use of the blade. That gets not a use. Parasite going down as well. Checkmate falling one by one. Ratmilker's in control. Checkmate at 99%. The question is anybody going to touch this point, or are they just going to let it go? And it looks like Ratmilkers are up 2-0 on the final point of the final map here. Checkmate really got to lock in here.
Yeah, I really thought we were going to see another rampage there after there was a Suzu after the blade, but the blade was able to take care of them just enough. So hopefully we see a wonderful rampage here.
A wonderful rampage indeed. We're going to watch for Trico and that Suzu if you're Ratmilkers. See if you can force that ability out. Talking about abilities used, not uses the pulse bomb, goes a bit wide. Makumi, here comes the Suzu. It is out. The Katsune rushes out. However, Satoru Gojo finds Pickle. I think they're going to hold it. Here comes the Rampage. Gets two. Strider finds Makumi. Railgun is coming alive with these Rampages, finding the value here. Satoru Gojo is dueling this. Tracer actually has that main character energy in him. However, Shay does find Trico here, and Ratmilkers are building point progress.
They are. Unfortunately, we lost Pickle right before the rush went out, and I think that's gonna hurt him, come back and bite him a little bit in their ult economy. But they do have B here. They do almost have the cast in.
Yeah. Satoru Gojo going down before he can throw the beat out, and it looks like that's all they're gonna have to use as Ratmilkers just kind of fall apart after that. Right now, Ratmilkers 44%. Railgun gonna get kind of staggered here.
Let's do it faster.
So Shuttle, we're coming up.
What's
This
up?
could.
Yeah, we are.
This is a very decisive fight with lots of ults on the board here. What are you gonna be looking for?
I'm looking for that Ori cast combo, but we've got a rush, we've got a Deadeye, we could Deadeye rush, but we do have beat from the Ratmilkers, so that could be a game winner.
Yeah, Ratmilkers see the horse use the spear, gonna throw it. Wispy getting out of use, and Pickle. That's big.
There
and
it is.
Ratmilkers just clean it up, and they clean it up with only 2 ults there.
That was a perfect execution of that beat. I think we are seeing Pickle come out of the Ramatra now. Might be getting a little bit of issues with the Queen.
Yeah, right now Pickle playing Mystery Heroes on tank. Makumi does have that blade, and it does not have an answer on the side of the supports right now. This could be final fight. Here comes Shay's Katsune Rush going deep here. Makumi gets one. Railgun gets Pickle. Parasite going down. Pickle going down next. Wispy finding it. It's 90% on the board for Ratmilkers. 93, and I think that's all she wrote. Ratmilkers take out one of the tournament favorites, and we see a teabag on the point as Nautilus gets a pulse bomb.
Wow.
The Ratmilkers going up 3-1.
What a wipe. That was a sweep on that match, but it was close overall. So
Absolutely. If we could, I would love to get Railgun in here to talk about that. That Queen was just so dominant. It gave so much trouble to Pickle that you saw him play Mystery Heroes here, and
yeah,
Ratmilkers came back from
eventually
what seemed like
desperately picking the meta pick on the Ramatra there at the end, but unfortunately it did not work out.
didn't work out. But you can see Ratmilkers' resolve there. They had a really bad game against Solar Eclipse, but they come back so much stronger, getting that 2-0.
Yeah.
2-1 actually, my bad. So we're gonna see if we can get some interviews going. Let's take a pause.
Yes.
What do you think was probably the highlight of Ratmilkers there? What do you think pushed them over the edge of Checkmate?
That's a good question. Honestly, I think it really does just come down to ult usage, and they were able to do that, as well as it looked like they were planning their fights out. Like I could tell they were critically thinking about each fight. So I think that not that Checkmate wasn't, but I think they had some good plans.
All right. Railgun is threatening to put motion in here as well, so we're gonna be getting maybe two. And I know motion. He's gonna talk that talk. So we gotta have these questions loaded up for just a sec when we're
All
ready for
right.
them. So we're gonna take a quick little breather here as we get the players into the chat. All right, folks, welcome back. We just ended our last game of day 2 for the Summer Showdown. Joining me, Motion and Railgun, the tank line for Rat Milkers. So I gotta ask, how you guys doing after that big win?
We're feeling great, honestly.
I feel pretty comfortable in the backpack right now. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, that's good to hear. So I gotta ask, you guys coming in as the underdogs. You saw all the tier list. You guys are now 3-1, probably with the best record right now. What's leading you guys to success?
Uh, Honestly, we're putting a lot of thought into what we do. We watched everybody else's matches. We're watching who's playing who, and so we kind of put a lot of thought into what maps we're gonna play, who are we gonna ban because we're looking at the enemy team as well and what they play. So honestly, today our goal, we clearly saw that Checkmate plays a lot of ball from what they have in their previous matches, and we were saving the ball ban for the very last map because that's what we wanted to do. Because when we went uh on Saravasi yesterday, we had planned to run the Junker Queen just like we did on Atlas, because that's what we do on Flashpoint. And we just struggled against the ball. We don't really play too much against ball. So we kind of just looked to just single it out. And because we've only, against them, against Checkmate, they only saw that we played Ramarissa. I don't think they really knew what we were going to play on Atlas. And so that's why you saw us select the ban, get the ball out the way first. They can choose any flashpoint map. And we kind of knew that we'd do super good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So obviously you guys, it was very close match, 2-1, and you guys coming in as the underdogs. That's awesome. So how did you guys keep up your morale? You know, even when it was close and those matches were. How did you keep the mood light?
I would probably say just planning. I think planning really
Yeah.
helped us stay in it. You know, plan fighting, playing beforehand. Like Rail already mentioned, we've been watching. You know, some of the teams play, kind of studied up a little bit. We knew what we expected, and we planned appropriately. I feel like that kind of saved up time for us to, you know, plan our fights, use our economy for our as our strengths, just kind of being ready for everything, you know. I think that's pretty important. I love the dedication of this team, and I think we can do something pretty good right now. I like what we
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
going on.
absolutely.
And I just wanted to add one thing is oh, we knew we were gonna play a lot of games today. So we kind of planned out like that we're gonna be doing a lot of swapping between me and Motion and our backline too. You saw Barbecue Chicken and Satoru always swapping. Just so honestly we didn't get too burnt out after so many games.
Yeah, that's a great way to do it. I was even saying before you guys joined that your fight planning, I could tell, just was spectacular throughout each match. Um, but there are many ways you could describe this match and your victory. But if you could describe your victory in one word, how would you do it? How would you say it?
I have preparation, just
Okay.
preparation.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
kind of going back to what I said.
But yeah, that ties in with the fight planning and the morale. So glad you guys were able to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My last question for you guys. All right. A lot of people said, Rat Milger's not going to take a map, not going to take a game. Took in 3 so far. You got anything to say to the rest of the server?
Miracle.
Honestly, miracle.
If you know, you know.
Honestly, we just jarred the pickle.
You just jarred the pickle.
All
Yeah,
right.
Well, if you guys have
we
anything,
double dipped it.
well, if you guys have anything to say, any shout outs, any call outs, now is the time to do it.
Just wanna give a shout out to my coaches, helping us plan ahead and giving us everything that we can do.
Yeah, and I'd
Their
like to
time.
shout out Monkumi because he's actually the one who stayed up all last night and he made a whole entire like a Google sheet of every single player, every single team, all the matches played, what was banned, all of that.
Wow.
As well, I was sorry. I want to add another shout out. So I don't know who made the tier list, but I saw that I was in Meh, and I never played a second on the map yesterday. So just wanted to give another shout out to the person who made the tier list that I never played in.
Mm.
That's it.
Mm.
You know.
With all those shout outs and all those things, we'd like to thank you for stopping by and congratulate you going 3-1 and getting that big win over Checkmate.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey,
Absolutely.
job's not finished.
Job
Good night.
is not
You
finished.
tell him.